Hi, everybody. I'm Pratibha Agarwal. I am an immigration attorney. I'm based in Washington, D.C., but my clients are all over the country, sometimes even all over the world, and we help with all types of immigration cases. We work with business cases, and we also work with humanitarian clients and family-based immigration as well. Um, I come on here to provide information about humanitarian options. I can answer some questions that you might have. Again, everything we provide is general information. If you have a specific information about your case or your situation, call our office. You can call us at 703-348-1663. Again, 703-348-1663. I'm streaming right now on Facebook, on YouTube, and on TikTok. Follow us and like us so you can stay connected to us. This is a very scary time, and knowing a trusted immigration attorney that you might be able to reach out to, or at least log on and get some useful and helpful information during these kind of scary times, it's very comforting to have. But I'm here for you right now. If you have immigration questions, I'm happy to answer them. We have folks here on multiple platforms, so what you see or on the platform where you are, you might not see the question, so I'll go ahead and read that out loud to you. Okay, thank you for joining, Shoma. Hi, happy Gothra. Let's see. All right, great. Perfect. Awesome. So I'll start off with some very common VAWA questions. VAWA is a immigration benefit. It's come under scrutiny last December under the Trump administration. It is for victims of abuse. For us, this case type presents itself mostly as victims of abuse in a marriage. Okay, so most of our clients who qualify for VAWA, where we've been successful over and over again, they are spouses of U.S. citizens or spouses of green card holders, and they are in a real marriage. It's not just for immigration purposes. They've lived with them during the marriage or before, although that law has recently changed, and they are experiencing abuse in the marriage. So what ends up happening is a lot of times there's not a police report. There's not a ton of evidence of the abuse, and people are worried about filing VAWA because they're worried they might not have enough evidence of abuse. So I'm here to tell you, we have been very successful with VAWA cases since we've started filing them many, many years ago. We have had an incredibly high rate of approval. Of course, each case is different, and your case would need to be evaluated, but the types of abuse that qualify for VAWA are often common in many different relationships. So yelling, using curse words, having a pattern of different abusive behaviors, being super controlling about finances, being controlling about who you're hanging out with or how much you talk to your family, threatening deportation. Any of these types of things may indicate that you or someone you know is in an abusive relationship. If they're undocumented, if they're married to a U.S. citizen or a green card holder, they may qualify for VAWA, right? And VAWA many times makes you eligible for a green card application as well. So if you entered illegally, you're married to a U.S. citizen or a green card holder, if you're not in removable proceedings, you will be able to also apply for a green card along with your VAWA application. When you apply for a green card with your VAWA application, you also apply for work authorization. You also apply for travel authorization. We're telling our clients right now, do not travel even if you have travel authorization. If you have a pending VAWA application and a pending green card application, hold off on travel until you have a green card. That is the advice we're giving our clients. We have heard stories of folks getting stopped at the airport, folks being accused of filing fraudulent VAWAs when they're trying to come into the country from a short travel abroad. Although there are defenses to that to make your life simpler, to ensure that issues won't exist, our advice would be to stay put, wait till you get your green card, and then go wherever you want to go safely and feel confident that you can come back. Okay. If you have questions, hi Radha, how are you? LaDonna, thank you for joining. Sunpreet, nice to see you. Jimmy, HC Chauhan, all, thank you so much for joining. We have some folks here on YouTube. I can't see who you are, but I'm happy that you're here. Please go ahead and put your VAWA questions, and I will do my best to answer them. If you have questions related to other parts of immigration, our firm is in Washington, D.C. We have clients all over the country, and we help them with all types of immigration matters. Just this week, we had a client approved for citizenship, which is super exciting. We have been with them since they applied for their first merit-based green card, then the removal of conditions for that permanent 10-year green card, and then finally, I had the pleasure of being with them for their citizenship interview where they did wonderfully. So that was super exciting. We shared some tips, some insider tips on that citizenship interview. So if you have something like that coming up, I would recommend making sure you follow us on our social media channels. We're Agarwal Immigration on everything, on YouTube, on Facebook, on TikTok. It's Agarwal Immigration, and my name again is Pratibha Agarwal. Okay, hi Boo, how are you doing? Thanks for joining. So let's start off with some of the questions that I'm getting these days on VAWA. So for right now, the biggest question that I'm seeing is it a good idea to file for VAWA in this administration? Right? Is it a good idea to file for VAWA in this administration? So people are very worried if you are undocumented. Okay, if you are undocumented and you're in the U.S., it's a very scary time. So VAWA gives you benefits. It gives you an option to remain legally in the U.S. So if you qualify, if you've met with an attorney, whether it's us or another law firm that practices VAWA, and they've determined that you qualify and you're worried, in this administration, does it make sense to file? So number one, yes, it 100% makes sense to file, especially if you are undocumented in this country. At least you have something, and you don't have to constantly worry about ICE, running into ICE, getting detained, getting deported, right? You have something on file that can be used to help you in the event you get connected with an ICE agent, right? If an ICE agent finds you, or you get into a car accident, or you get a speeding ticket, in some states they're required to report this to ICE. If that happens, having a VAWA is incredibly helpful as a defense for you in removal proceedings. Okay, so give us a call if we can help you with your VAWA case. The folks that qualify are people that are experiencing abuse in a relationship. For us, it's mostly clients who are married to U.S. citizens or are green card holders. They're experiencing abuse in their relationship. We could potentially help them apply for a VAWA and receive a green card, work authorization, and travel authorization in about work and travel authorization will be about 7 months. The whole process can take about 3 years. Give us a call at 703-348-1663. Again, 703-348-1663. My name, again, is Pratibha Agarwal. I'm an immigration attorney. We're here located in Washington, D.C., with a small team that is very experienced. We've been very successful with our VAWA applications, and we would love to help you, especially if you're here in the U.S., you don't have status. We would love to help you see if you can qualify for VAWA or a different option. We would love to work with you. So give us a call, 703-348-1663. Another thing I want to share with you is actually we are offering currently free case evaluations for humanitarian cases, right? So the ones that qualify for our firm are going to be VAWA. They're going to be T visas, so victims of trafficking. If you've been a victim of a crime, like a robbery, for example, you might qualify for a U visa. So we are offering complimentary, free case evaluations for humanitarian clients. We understand this is a super scary time. It is very difficult and very it's horrible to feel scared all the time under this current administration. So if you qualify, we would love to help you get in status. We would love to help you get you on your way to a green card. So give us a call at 703-348-1663. Again, 703-348-1663. All right. Who is saying, what is your take on what is happening with ICE? Do you advise traveling within the country by flying? So, Boo, I'm not sure if you are undocumented or if your question is in reference to undocumented folks. If you are undocumented, I would not fly. I think ICE is in airports. You need to have a real ID to travel. So it's a little bit difficult, I think, right now. And you're taking some risk if you are traveling, even within the country, if you're not leaving the country. So that's what my advice is. If you have a pending VAWA, that's a different situation, right? So if you have a pending VAWA, if you have your adjustment of status, which is your green card application also pending, then I think you would be okay to travel within the country. I don't see any risks. I could see the biggest risks if your VAWA and green card are currently pending. I think the risk would be coming into the country from abroad. That would be what I feel would be scary. Magical is saying, do you need a police report for a VAWA application? Do you need a police report for a VAWA application? That's a great question. So oftentimes people wonder, how can I prove abuse if I have never reported this abuse to the police, right? So the answer is no. A police report is not required for a VAWA. You don't need to have reported the abuse to the police to qualify for a VAWA, right? If you're in a marriage, if there's name calling, if there's verbal and mental abuse, if there's control by the other person, then you might qualify for VAWA. You might qualify for VAWA and a green card, right? Those things, the things I just mentioned, verbal abuse, aren't necessarily anything that you would report to the police. So with this emotional abuse only, even with no physical abuse whatsoever in your relationship, you might qualify for VAWA, which means you might also qualify for a green card. That means before the end of the year, you might have your work authorization, you might have your social security card. So I think you have a lot to look forward to if you do qualify for VAWA. These are folks that have been in very difficult situations, difficult relationships, and have endured a lot. They're strong. If you qualify for VAWA, you will feel protected, you will feel safe among what's going on right now with ICE. So give us a call if we can help you. 703-348-1663. Remember, we are currently doing free case evaluations for folks who might qualify for VAWA, trafficking visas, or victims of crime. If you want to see that you have nothing to lose, call us and we will walk you through the whole process. We'll ask you questions to tell us about your specific case, and we will let you know what you might qualify for. If you don't qualify, we'll let you know that too, and we'll point you in the right direction, see if there's any other options available for you as well. Okay, you can reach us at 703-348-1663. Again, 703-348-1663. Shoma saying, I filed VAWA 7 months and still no receipt notice. Right, she filed VAWA 7 months ago and still no receipt notice. Actually, Shoma, they are taking a really long time right now. So we have some clients who've been waiting over 30 weeks, for a receipt notice. So it can take a long time. Sometimes they're actually pretty fast. So it's a little bit all over the place. If you can confirm that your application was delivered to the government, to USCIS, then I think you're okay. So if you have a tracking history, make sure that you can confirm that it was delivered. You can also try to call. I know that's always difficult because it's hard to get a live person, but you can also try to call. If you do try to call, try to get a hold of a live agent, then you'll be able to see if they've received your application with your name and your birthday, perhaps your address. You can give that information and see. So yeah, that's wonderful. Shoma says, yes, it was delivered. That's awesome. Just wait. It's not really, I know it's been a while, but it's not that uncommon. Okay. Jasmine says, hi, can I travel internationally? I was on Medicaid. I do have a green card and it's been 3 years. Jasmine, yes, I think you can travel internationally if you don't have crimes. If you don't have, if you didn't acquire your green card through fraud, if there's no problems with how you got your green card, if there's, if you don't have a criminal history, if you don't have a removal order, then you should be able to travel. Again, this is general advice. I don't know your specific situation, Jasmine, but just based on your question, I think you would be okay to travel internationally if you have a green card. But of course, everyone take care to check your social media before you travel. You want to make sure that you're not saying anything that could be construed as something that would be dangerous to the U.S., right? And sometimes just talking negatively about the current administration or our president could lead to questioning. So just know that, that you should take care to monitor your social media accounts to make sure that you can re-enter safely. I know that's unfair. We do have freedom of speech here in this country, but you take care of yourself when you come back. If you're going to travel internationally, make sure that you know what's on your phone, you know what's on your social media, and that you understand that it potentially could be problematic if you're very vocal or speaking negatively about this administration or about the U.S. Okay? Thank you for that question. That was actually very, very helpful. Great. So another question I have here is, can I include my children if my children were not abused? So this is for a VAWA petition. Can I include my children in that petition if they were not abused? Yes. So part of the VAWA application requires you to list all of the children that you have. So older children, younger children, you list all of them. All of the minor children will be part of that application. Okay, if you want to apply for a green card, if they're here in the US and they qualify for a green card, you can apply for that as well, along with your VAWA and your green card. So that is an option too. I talk to a lot of people that maybe may not want to do VAWA for themselves, right? Maybe they think that they've been fine so many years. Yes, they're undocumented or they've lost status after once having it. But really the motivating factor is their children. They want to create opportunities for their children. They want to make sure that their children have a better life than they do. So many times, if you've lived in an abusive relationship, if you're undocumented, your children are undocumented. If that abusive spouse was a U.S. citizen or a green card holder, you can still be with them. You don't have to end that relationship to be eligible for something like VAWA. Then you may be able to use that experience, to use that situation to get status for all of you, to receive a green card for all of you. So we've done that several times before. We recently had a client who applied for VAWA. She was living with her husband, who basically expected her to do all of the housework, didn't help with cleaning, kind of made all of the decisions of the family. He talked negatively about her to his family and to other people. And she was depressed and she felt very, very hurt and abused. And she also had 3 kids who were all undocumented. And we were able to apply for her VAWA and green card. She received her work authorization in about 5 months. And she actually received a VAWA approval and a green card in a total of 7 months. So the whole thing went very, very quickly. The typical VAWA timeframe, VAWA and green card timeframe, can be over 3 years, sometimes 4 years even, right? So that's average. We were able to do it in 7 months. We recently received a VAWA approval for a client in 4 months. So we have had some cases that have moved very quickly. What our firm does, what we're good at, is being very thorough and ensuring that every application has consistent facts. So we don't want to say one thing in the affidavit that we submit and a different thing in the application. That alone could be problematic, could delay your VAWA case. So it's very, very important to ensure that you have consistent information in any application you file with USCIS. So that's something you should check and make sure you are able to catch anything like that before you submit it. If you don't catch it, it's not the end of the world. Of course, the government might issue a request for evidence, so basically asking you to clarify. And when they do that, you'll have the opportunity to explain what happened, or if it was a mistake, own up to it, say it was a mistake, and most likely the government will accept that. Okay, my name is Pratibha Agarwal. I am an immigration attorney. I'm based in Washington, D.C. We have clients all over the United States. You can reach us at 703-348-1663. Again, 703-348-1663. All right. Another question I have is, can I still apply for a VAWA if I'm undocumented? Right, so can I still apply for VAWA if I'm undocumented? So the good thing about VAWA is you can apply for it if you entered illegally. You can apply for it if you came here with, let's say, a tourist visa and you lost status, right? All of those things don't make you ineligible. So you are still eligible to apply for VAWA if you are undocumented, if you lost your status, if you are accruing unlawful presence, and if you entered illegally. So this means that if you're not in removal proceedings, if you don't have some major criminal history like most of us, you're able to apply for a VAWA and a green card with work permit and travel authorization, right? You have that path, not just for you, but for any minor children that you might have as well. So give us a call if we can help you. We handle so many of these cases, and we've seen so many people who didn't have status, who saw our video, who joined our lives, maybe like some of you here, who were able to get a green card. Check out our website. We do have some recordings there of clients that have received their green cards through VAWA. Check our contact us page or our reviews page that does have all of this information. And you can see people actually going through with the process, being brave enough to get started, and really being successful and having a green card at the end of the road. You can reach us at 703-348-1663. We're in Washington, D.C. We help clients all over the country. If you want to come to the office, we would love to see you. If you don't want to come to the office, that's okay too. We can do everything remotely. We have our evaluations. They're free of charge right now. We have not done that in the past. This is an incredible opportunity for folks that may qualify for humanitarian relief. This is our way to give back to you who might be undocumented. This is our way to show you that maybe you have options, right? Give us a call, 703-348-1663. Again, 703-348-1663. Current receipt notices on VAWA in your office. How long? I guess you're asking how long maybe they're taking. So some of them are taking about a month or so. Others are taking over 6 months. So it's a little bit of a range. I hope that is helpful to you. Can you travel if your removal proceeding was terminated by the judge? Boo, that's something that, I think Boo, you mentioned you have a pending VAWA. If you had removal and it was terminated by the judge, you're okay. If you have a pending application with USCIS, I think you're okay to travel domestically. If you have a pending VAWA, I would wait to travel until you get a green card, right? You don't want to get stuck coming back in. You don't want to be questioned on the VAWA when your attorney is not there. You might not even remember some of the things that you put in the affidavit because it's been a long time, right? So you might be jet lagged. You might not be ready. You want to be prepped for your interview. You want to have reviewed your documents. You want to be familiar with the types of documents that you gave. It's really hard to remember some facts. Like, what was the address on your joint bank account? Maybe those things are easy for you to remember. Or which bank were you using together with your spouse? Maybe you wouldn't know that offhand. Maybe you couldn't remember, right? It's possible. But you don't want to be questioned when you're coming back into the country. You might not be ready or fresh being on a plane for however many hours coming in from an international flight. So even if you have advanced parole, if you have travel authorization, what I would say is wait to get your green card before you travel. If you're undocumented and you think you might qualify for a VAWA or another humanitarian option, hey, call us, 703-348-1663. We will talk to you, walk you through the process, and confirm your eligibility, right? So you can get started, so you can help yourself, you can help your kids. Okay, well, this is wonderful to see you. Thank you so much for joining. Follow us on our social media, on our Facebook, on TikTok, on YouTube. We are providing helpful information about immigration. There's changes all the time. So stay connected to us. Stay connected by receiving our newsletters. If you don't already receive our newsletter, go to our website, agarwalimmigration.com, and you can sign up for our newsletter. My name again is Pratibha Agarwal. I am an immigration attorney based in Washington, D.C. with clients all over the country, and we would love to help you get in status. Give us a call if we can help you. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend. It's going to snow where you are. Stay warm, stay inside, stay safe, and I will see you next week. Thank you, everybody.